You had just joined on 10th of February 2019 and 4 दिन में Pulwama happened.
I said, we will get the bastards. And within 100 hours, we got the bastards.
Happy to inform the country that in less than 100 hours, we eliminated the JEM leadership being handled by JEM from Pakistan.
नीचे सर gunshots हो रहे, you could see people being killed. पाकिस्तान बाज क्यों नहीं आता सर?
How can you segregate people by putting their pants down and on the basis of religion and telling them to recite kalma?
Pakistan had a different narrative on Operation Sindoor कि वो कहते हैं हम जीत गए.
So longer war is always in India's favor. 3:35 p.m. on 10th May, their Director General Military Operation called up Indian Director General Military Operations and begged for ceasefire. We accepted their request for ceasefire.
Donald Trump goes to Truth Social and says, I have mediated this war to stop.
ट्रम्प कहते हैं कि रात भर टॉक्स चली जिन्हें अमेरिका ने मीडिएट किया और उसके बाद इंडिया और पाकिस्तान फुल एंड इमीडिएट सीज फायर के लिए तैयार हो गए.
Which has been denied in Indian Parliament.
कितनी गाजी आए, कितनी गाजी गए. Take me through that moment, sir.
A journalist asked me a question, sir. Is Ghazi dead? Kashmir, कितने गाजी आए, कितने चले गए?
US and Pakistan, they have a very win-win relation.
Politics and military will always be controlled by, because America does not want to let go of Pakistan.
कि राजा मारने के बाद भी ईरान जिंदा है, बट ऐसी फीलिंग आ नहीं रही यूएस जीत गया.
In this whole game of Iran war, if there is one winner, that is China.
अगर इतिहास लिखना है तो किसी को इतिहास बनाना पड़ेगा.
So Amit Shah ji visited J&K. At 2 in the night, I get a message, sir, tomorrow morning, breakfast meeting with the Home Minister. But more importantly on the table was, what if we do something big? He asked me, अगर कुछ करें तो जिम्मेवारी किसकी होगी? I made a statement.
Watch the film Dhurandhar.
खुफिया का मुखिया रह चुका हूँ. I dealt very closely with the Mr. Ajit Doval, the National Security Advisor.
Is really Pakistan a threat?
India is never bothered about Pakistan.
Not even once did you feel कि यार थोड़ा जा pause कर लेने.
कश्मीर में तिरंगे को कंधा देने वाला कोई नहीं. 5th of August 2019 के बाद जो 3 महीने थे, the most peaceful 3 months in 30 years of Kashmir's terrorism history.
People say it was an intelligence failure. अगर इतिहास लिखना है तो किसी को इतिहास बनाना पड़ेगा. We can write history only if we make history. Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, welcome on our podcast. Thank you so much for doing this. We've been back and forth बहुत देर दा. I think we've been doing that, but thank you so much on coming on the journey with Simarpreet Singh.
Thank you, Simar, and it's an honor to be on your podcast. देर आए दुरुस्त आए.
सर ये लाइन मैंने तुसी दसो, दिस लाइन अगर इतिहास लिखना है तो किसी को इतिहास बनाना पड़ेगा. टेल मी द बैकग्राउंड ऑफ दिस लाइन so that the viewers, I get goosebumps whenever I read this line. Tell me the background behind that, sir.
Simar, this is when I was a Corps Commander in Kashmir. For the benefit of your viewers, Corps Commander in Kashmir means the line of control of Kashmir Valley, which is opposite Pakistan occupied Kashmir. You are responsible for all operations on the line of control. You are responsible for all operations across the line of control inside Pakistan occupied Kashmir. You are responsible for counter-infiltration operations on the line of control. And you are also responsible for counter-terrorist operations inside the valley, along with the Jammu Kashmir police and other intelligence agencies from the military aspects. In addition, of course, other aspects of intelligence, media, social media, interaction with the civil administration, politicians, bureau, this, that. So I was a Corps Commander in Kashmir in August 2019 when abrogation of Article 370 happened. 40 days prior to the abrogation, on 26th, 27th of June 2019, Honorable Home Minister of India, Mr. Amit Shah ji visited J&K. 26th of June, we had a lot of meetings on law and order, security. Shri Amarnath Ji Yatra was to start on 1st of July 2019 and many other administrative meetings. And I was there from the army. DGP was there, Governor was there, Chief Secretary, Home Secretary, all intelligence agencies and other administration people. So 26th June, the meetings lasted till about 11 in the night. The number of meetings. So anyway, after the meetings, got back home. At 2 in the night, I get a message, sir, tomorrow morning, breakfast meeting with the Home Minister. So I said, okay. 3 o'clock I get another call. Sir, what will you like to have for the breakfast?
अच्छा.
So I said, जो सब खाएंगे वो मैं भी खा लूँगा. It's okay. I don't have any specific choice. Just like you asked before we started. Sir, any favorite food? I said, I love food, but I'm okay with anything. जो भी मिल जाए, you know. Never say no to food. So I said, जो सब खाएंगे मैं भी खा लूँगा. That is when I was told कि सर यहाँ पर सब नहीं है. It's a one-on-one meeting between you and the Home Minister.
With Amit Shah ji.
With Amit Shah ji. So anyway, 7 o'clock, 27th June 2019. I was there with the Home Minister, and the meeting lasted about 45-50 minutes.
One-to-one meeting.
One-to-one. Nobody else, no one even taking notes. And on the table were dhokla, pranthas, but more importantly on the table was, what if we do something big?
You knew what he's talking about?
No, at that time, that's when his initial 15 minutes was, softening up. And that is when things started coming out. What if we do something big? What can Pakistan do? What can happen inside the valley? Can there be a, uprising? Can there be a mass disobedience? Can there be a force which will do a mutiny? Can Pakistan do this? Pakistan? All those options were discussed. All those contingencies were discussed. I can't go into details of those. So at the end of 45 minutes, he asked me, तो जनरल साहब अगर कुछ करें तो जिम्मेवारी किसकी होगी? Now, easiest thing for me was to say, sir, I'll go back, discuss with my army chief, discuss with my team, and come back to you. But if I say that, I'll go back and discuss and then come back to you, when I am in charge of Kashmir, as I said earlier, when I am the corps commander in Kashmir, I am responsible for everything. That would mean I am not confident about myself, I am not confident about my team, I am not confident about what my boss will say. That is Army Chief, General Rawat. God bless his soul. So I told him, sir, we will do it. And I assure you, nothing will go wrong. And at that time, I made a statement. कि सर, अगर इतिहास लिखना है, तो किसी को तो इतिहास बनाना पड़ेगा. So this statement was made to
Amit Shah.
To Amit Shah ji, Honorable Home Minister of India, on 27th of June 2019 at about 7:45 in the morning.
And
then, so happy that 370 was removed. We made history and we wrote history, part of which is in the book. Right in front of you.
Sir, one thing, because 2019 was a pivotal year in the Indian history, your role in the Indian history as well. One thing, because I want to touch base Article 370 in detail, because a lot of youngsters are also watching. तो कश्मीर के बारे में और डिटेल में जाएंगे. But when the Honorable Home Minister asked you this, in the past, there have been so much previous statements by, ministers in the past कि जी अगर 370 को कुछ हाथ लगाएं तो खून की नदियां बहेंगी. बहुत से ऐसे sensitive, comments have been made in the past. Sir, not even once did you feel कि यार थोड़ा जा pause कर लेने हैं, थोड़ा देख लेने हैं, and you made that statement?
Just to elaborate on what you said. Statement was made by the chief ministers of J&K.
Yeah.
अगर 370 या 35A को कुछ हुआ तो खून की नदियां बह जाएंगी. कश्मीर में तिरंगे को कंधा देने वाला कोई नहीं होगा. These were the statements of the former chief ministers. But when this question came, and when I knew that if we do this, it's not only a thing which will change the history of Kashmir, it will change the history of India and subcontinent. And at that moment, when you are likely to be part of such an important, history modulating event, then only thing which works is your confidence in yourself, your team, your people, and the knowledge of the area where you are operating. Kashmir, this was my 7th or 8th tenure. I've been there since Captain Days, since my 25 years of age. I know Kashmir backwards. I know Kashmiri thinking backwards. I know Kashmiri aspirations backward. I know Kashmiri people, their mentality, their way they want to look for peace. Enough is enough. They had enough. They had enough. More than 30 years of terrorism. 3 generations got affected. 3 generations. So this was the time. You know, silent majority in any conflict zone is irrelevant because they are silent. In Kashmir, not more than 2, 3, 5% maybe of supporting terrorism or actively engaged in terrorism.
And their perception is made so
The
big,
perception
right?
is made, and the social media and media blows up those incidents because that's what sells. Dog eating a man doesn't sell, man eating a dog sells. So those people, the 3 to 5% of people, their actions are highlighted in the media, the news. The 95% of silent majority who want peace, जिनको कुछ नहीं चाहिए, घर में रोटी पकनी चाहिए, बच्चों की पढ़ाई होनी चाहिए, अच्छी तालीम मिलनी चाहिए, उनका एक माहौल नेक्स्ट जनरेशन, आज की जनरेशन से ज़्यादा बेहतर करनी चाहिए. Those people are the stakeholders, the biggest stakeholders. I have met those people in the villages, I met those people in states, I met them in the hospitals. So I knew if you do something good, if you do something strong, and if you do something with pure intentions, the majority, the silent majority will support you. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. 5th of August 2019 के बाद जो 3 महीने थे, the most peaceful 3 months in Kashmir in 30 years of Kashmir's terrorism history. Otherwise, such a big event. People are expecting bloodbaths, like you said, खून की नदियां बह जाएंगी. लेकिन कुछ नहीं हुआ क्योंकि साइलेंट मेजोरिटी नहीं चाहती थी और दंगा फसाद.
Sir, 2019, as we spoke, that is a pivotal year in the Indian history. We spoke about the 27 June 2019 meeting and the famous line that you said to the Honorable Home Minister. But just 5 months back, in Feb of 2019, I'm reading this Kitni Gazi Aaye, Kitni Gazi Gaye, chapter number 1. मैं read करके बोलना चाहता हूँ, and then we kickstart our conversation. During the press conference at Badami Bagh Cantonment Headquarters of the Indian Army, 15th Corps on 19th February 2019, which is just 4 months before, 19 फरवरी 2019 में, post the elimination of Pakistani terrorist Kamran, जो गाजी बोलता है, you gave this, जोश statement, कितनी गाजी आए, कितनी गाजी गए. Take me through that moment, sir. Take the youngsters through that moment. कि क्या feel थी, because you had just joined on 10th of February 2019, and 4 दिन में Pulwama happened.
There's a very famous hymn. निश्चय कर अपनी जीत करो. That means you should not only aim to win, you should be determined to win. Now the difference between aiming to win, or wishing to win, willing to win, and determined to win, what separates men from the boys. 14th of February 2019, Pulwama happened. We lost 40 CRPF bravehearts in that IED blast. I had taken over as Corps Commander on 10th of February 2019, just 4 days before that. And when this incident happened, as the clarity came in, I pressed in the helicopters, the ambulances for CASVAC, and then went to hospital myself, after having looked after the injured. Then I was going for a meeting, and there was a young captain with me, Captain Sandeep Singh. And he was also anxious because this was the biggest terrorist attack in the history, and I was only 4 days old in my chair. So the young captain asked me, "Sir, ab kya hoga?" So pardon my language, they're determined to win. He said, "Sir, ab kya hoga?" So I told him, I said, "We will get the bastards." And within 100 hours, we got the bastards. And that is on 19th of February morning when this press conference, which you referred to, happened in Badami Bagh Cantonment of Indian Army.
Happy to inform the country that in less than 100 hours, we eliminated the JM leadership in the valley, which was being handled by JM from Pakistan.
So this terrorist act of Pulwama IED blast was carried out by Jaish-e-Mohammed, a terrorist outfit of Pakistan. The person who was head of this module was a Pakistani terrorist called Kamran, whose actual name is Kamran. He's a Pakistani national. He was a Pakistani national. His code name was Ghazi. Ghazi is a very preferred code name by Pakistani terrorists.
Why is that?
Since it's because of historical reasons. Islamist wars and Ghazi character in those wars. Since I served so many tenures in Kashmir, ever since captain days, captain, major, lieutenant colonel, commanding officer, brigade commander, again a brigadier, then corps commander. So there are a lot of Pakistani terrorists whom we had killed who had a code name Ghazi. So just a little background. So on this press conference day, 19th February 2019, a journalist asked me a question. Because after Pulwama, after 14th Feb, the local media especially, vernacular press, was going gaga over it. Ghazi carried out Pulwama. Ghazi did this IED blast. Ghazi attacked India. So Ghazi was being made out to be a bigger than life figure. So in this press conference, a journalist asked me a question, sir, is Ghazi dead? So I didn't want to give much credence to this terrorist. So my simple answer was, kitne Ghazi aaye, kitne Ghazi gaye, parwah nahi. We are there, don't worry. We'll make sure Kashmir is safe. And that's how this line, kitne Ghazi aaye, kitne Ghazi gaye.
That became the title of your first book.
And that became the title of my first book. And that became an instant hit in the social media and media circles. Because it's not a statement. This line, kitne Ghazi aaye, kitne Ghazi gaye, shows determination of India. Shows determination of Indian Army. कि कितने terrorist आए, कितने terrorist गए. We are here. We will prevail. We will not let the terrorists take the better of us. And that's exactly what happened. You said 2019 was a turning point in Kashmir. Before that, your viewers would remember seeing locals hitting the security forces on the streets, stone pelting. When I left in 2020, stone pelting had come down to zero, near zero. And the locals had started believing in Kashmir being a prosperous place and future of Kashmir, future of the children. And that is what turned the whole thing.
Sir, how do you react when people say, I know, just I can feel your energy, and when you speak about 14th Feb, about the rest in peace of all the 40 brave hearts who जिन्होंने शहीदी दी country को, I can see the emotion. But how do you react when people say it was an intelligence failure? How do you react? What is your feeling? Does a rage come in, or what is the feeling when people say that Pulwama happened? हुआ क्यों? Because इतनी तादाद में तो लोग कभी हुए नहीं थे. There was security. What is your reaction on that?
Simar, we are a democracy. Asking questions in a democracy is a legitimate right. And every citizen who is part of this vibrant democracy has that right. So nothing wrong in asking questions. And I agree with the question, was this an intelligence failure? So my answer to this is, intelligence is a very tedious job. Intelligence operatives do the thing which you and me can't even imagine. I have been a Director General Defense Intelligence Agency, the highest agency of the military, which involves military, naval and air force intelligence. The way intelligence operatives operate in the field, at times they operate in pairs, at times they operate single, in civil clothes, without weapon. They go into the area which they know are very dangerous areas. They may not come back alive if they are exposed. So this is the conditions they serve under. The children are at home. Most of the children, families don't even know that their father is an intelligence person. He has a different image at home. So this is the type of conditions they work under. Now coming to your question proper. Suppose we get 100 intelligence inputs. And here I want to, for the benefit of viewers, we want to be very clear. We are not fighting any ragtag terrorist organization. We are fighting a country. We are fighting a country which has a military, which has intelligence, which has budgets, which provides them training, finances, supporting, weapons, helping. The military helps in infiltration. They give them communication system, top of the line. They control the operations from Pakistan. So we are talking of that type of a setup where a complete nation, complete military is carrying out these terrorist acts. Now in these conditions, if the 100 terrorist acts which are planned by the enemy, 99 are not allowed to go through because intelligence people don't allow it. Unfortunately, one gets through in spite of the best efforts of the intelligence. one gets through and that happens to be so big like Pulwama or Pahalgam. When out of 100, 99 are not allowed and intelligence people don't talk about it.
Cannot talk about
We
it.
have a intelligence community does not go to the town and claim their successes.
Yeah.
Because if we say that
दूसरे को पता लग जाएगा.
we did not let this operation go through,
Yeah.
the enemy, the Pakistan will know why it didn't go through. They will change their tactics next time.
Yeah.
So intelligence people don't brag about it. But that one incident which goes through, which unfortunately should not have gone through, but it still does. It should not have gone through. I am accepting that. I will not call that 1% as intelligence failure. And just for the benefit of your viewers, it's there in the book again. 14th February, Pulwama happened. 24th of February, Pulwama 2 was planned. Same modus operandi, same car, similar explosives, similar suicide bomber. That bomber had also made a movie or a video. And they were to strike. The same intelligence people about whom people are saying it was a failure. Same intelligence people gave the input of that 24th February Pulwama 2. And we killed those chaps before they could do Pulwama 2. Pulwama 3 was also planned, which again same intelligence people gave input. And Pulwama 3 was averted. Details are there in the book. So, I won't say it's intelligence failure. Intelligence is a tedious job. They do their job, जिसको कहते हैं ना जान की बाजी लगाकर. So, my hats off to intelligence people.
Sir, let's talk about Kashmir. I think in India, Kashmir's perception, and I think the best person to talk about Kashmir is you, because when I asked कि आपको favorite खाना कौन सा पसंद है, you said that कि आप सारे okay, but when I talk about Kashmir, there is a love that in your eyes. I can see the love for Kashmiri, and I feel that Kashmiri. I've been to Srinagar. Srinagar लोगों को Srinagar Kashmir लगता है, but Kashmir का एक शहर है वो.
Yeah.
Sir, take me through Kashmir. So many people across this world is seeing this conversation. What myths are there for Kashmiri? जो आपने बोला 2019 में पुलवामा चलो हुआ, उसके बाद 370 got abolished. सर है क्या कश्मीरी लोग है कैसे? मतलब लोगों को इतनी मिसकंसेप्शन है उन लोगों की. कश्मीरी पंडित्स वहाँ से निकले है कैसे? सर कैसे होते हैं कश्मीरी लोग?
Thank God you came to the right word. You started the question with Kashmir. And by the end of the question, you came to Kashmiri log. Kashmir is Kashmiri people. Kashmiri people, I would say, are the most beautiful people I have come across. They are artisans. Kalakar hain wo. Kashidakari, paper mache, woodwork. You name a artwork, namde, gabe, carpets, kadhai, kalamkari. Well, the art is unending. They are poets, they are writers, they are Sufis, they are magicians, they are singers, they are players. Cricket, football. मतलब कश्मीर के तो कण कण में संगीत है, मौसीकी है, मेहमान नवाजी. We talked about food. Wazwan. You go to Kashmiri house, the whole family would be there, as if Bhagwan aa gaye unke ghar mein. So Kashmiri people are beautiful people. Again, I'll say, don't go by the perception of the 2-3% who are trying to do mischief at behest of Pakistan. That's not Kashmiriyat. For the benefit of your viewers, Kashmir में pork और beef, cow beef, बिकता नहीं है. Every other part of the country, you can take pork, you can take beef, cow beef, buy. Kashmir में नहीं बिकता है. क्योंकि that is the mutual respect for each other's faith.
Wow, I didn't know this.
There is an act on it, but that is how it is. A Kashmiriyat is that. So, having said that, now Kashmir, it is so unfortunate. The geography has a reason, history has a reason. Kashmir is a valley. Traditionally, there were only 3 passes: Zojila Pass linking to Ladakh, Hajipir Pass linking to present Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and towards the south, the South Pir Panjal, linking to Jammu region, Banihal Pass. So, the geography was such that 6 months out of a year, these passes were closed because of snowfall, and Kashmir was cut off. Connectivity brings in, you can say the intermixing of culture, the mutual respect, mutual beliefs, faiths. Now there are 100 airlines, 100 flights going every day to Srinagar, all full. We have a train going to Srinagar. Once the connectivity improves, that is when the multinationals, the employment will come, the job creation will happen. And that is when the silent majority will become a stakeholder. जिसका बच्चा कल 500 रुपए में पत्थर फेंकता था. And there was a chance that he will, okay, I must give you one more data. When I became Corps Commander, I did an analysis of data of last about 1.5, 2 years. So the analysis was, the Kashmiri boys who pick up weapon, who join any tanzeem, terrorist tanzeem, 83% of them had a history, recorded history of stone pelting. That means a Kashmiri boy who picks up a gun, out of them 83% had a recorded history of stone pelters, being a stone pelter. And now coming to, once he has picked up a gun, 7% of them died within the first 10 days. 10% died within the first 1 month. 17% died within the first 3 months. 34% died within the first 6 months. 64% died within the first 1 year of picking up gun. Now this was told to the mothers. Okay, your son, if he is going for 500 rupees for stone pelting, 83% chances he will become a terrorist, or terrorist have a 83% history of stone pelting, and 64% chance he will get killed within the first 1 year of picking up the gun. Now that is the shelf life of a terrorist. Once this was made clear to the Kashmiri mother, that initiative of mine came to be known as Operation Maa. 50 young Kashmiri boys returned. Because mother is a mother is a mother is a mother. Quran में लिखा हुआ है, serve the mother, then serve the mother, then serve the mother, and then serve the father. ये मदर की अहमियत है, महत्व है. So no mother wants her son to get killed in next 1 year. So when this silent majority, they realized that certain death hai if you do stone pelting or joint terrorism. And that is when the silent majority spoke. So that silent majority which I talked about, जो artists हैं, जो musicians हैं, जो carpenters हैं, जो food makers हैं, जो hospitality industry में हैं, today they are the stakeholders. 280 days in a year, the schools used to remain closed because of हड़ताल. You are a father, I am a father. अगर हमारा बच्चा पढ़ेगा नहीं तो कहाँ जाएगा? आखिर में आकर गन उठाएगा जब वो 16 साल का 18 साल का हो जाएगा, एंड 1 साल में मारा जाएगा. Today the schools are open 365 days other than the authorized holidays. So the stakeholders have changed. Today a Kashmiri is a stakeholder in peace. Kashmiri child is a stakeholder in peace, जिसका future है. Investment is a stakeholder in peace. And all the parameters of peace, चाहे वो tourist coming in, ATM cash dispensation, schools opening, offices opening, are on the rise. All the negative indicators, number of terrorists joining the tanzeems, number of terrorists killed, number of civilians killed, number of security forces killed, all those are on the decline. So that's how Kashmir, Kashmir is a beautiful group of people. And today they are exerting their will to remain in a peaceful environment. And that's the biggest achievement.
सर लास्ट ईयर एक वीडियो आती है एंड आई थिंक मतलब मैं सर मेरे पास तो वो करेज नहीं है एक आर्मी ऑफिसर बनने के लिए. मतलब एक करेज चाहिए ना, लोग बोलते हैं यार बने नहीं. मैंने कहा यू शुड हैव दैट करेज टू बिकम दैट. हम में तो वो है नहीं सर, जो आप लोग, जो फौजी लोग करते हैं देश को प्रोटेक्ट. बट सर पिछले साल एक वीडियो आती है, एक टूरिस्ट, सबने देखी होगी वीडियो, टूरिस्ट एक ना वो रोप से एक इंजॉय कर रहा है, जो पहलगाम में, तो वो रोप से चढ़ के ना वो एकदम वीडियो बना रहा है, सेल्फी, और बाद में पता लगता है नीचे सर गन शॉट्स हो रहे हैं सर. जब तक वो उड़ता और जो उसको धक्का भी दे रहा है उसको मालूम है कि नीचे गन शॉट्स हो रहे हैं. दैट वीडियो वाज वायरल. I saw the video, sir. मेरी मतलब I don't know, sir. I think I was in rage. I was in डर लग रहा था कि यार नीचे सर गन शॉट्स हो रहे. You could see, you know, shots being fired, people being killed. Why did Pahalgam happen, sir? क्या हुआ है पहलगाम में? And of course, then Operation Sindoor happened, and you've covered very detailed in your book. But जब सब कुछ सेटल हो गया था सर 2019 में, you know, of course, Pulwama was a victory, and then 370 was, everything was peace for 3-4 years. पाकिस्तान बाज क्यों नहीं आता सर?
See, Pahalgam happened on 22nd April last year, that is 2025. I, with my wife, was in Kashmir from, I think, 16th April till about 20th April. 20th April, late in the evening, at about 7 o'clock, I took a flight and we came back. And on 19th or 20th April, I was to go to Dal Lake. Imagine I'm an ex-corps commander, I have the protection, you know, there would be a policeman who would clear the way if I want to go. So when I was going in a civil vehicle, the Dal Lake, approach to Dal Lake was full, jam-packed with tourists. The Dal Lake was jam-packed. So much so, I never pushed my way, you know, telling people to open the... I told my wife, I said, let's go back. I returned back because I didn't want to disturb the tourists who were there. Why I'm making this statement is on 20th of April, the rush of tourists, the density of tourists was so much that I turned back and I didn't go down to Dal Lake.
This is 20th of April
2025.
Yeah.
And then I came back. Now, imagine if these tourists are there in so many numbers. Who is benefiting? Every tourist who goes, in addition to his airfare or bus fare or whatever car mein jata hai, hotel stay, food for the whole day, and once you go out, you buy some, you know, some gifts for your near and dear ones. If one tourist staying in a hotel spends about 10, 12, 15,000 at an average on his staying and food, and then roaming around, then gifts and all, he's spending about 20, 25,000 per day.
Yeah, minimum. Yeah.
And imagine the number of tourists who are coming in, and for the number of days they're staying, and multiplied that by 20, 25,000 bucks. That much money was getting injected into Kashmiri economy. All that money is going to the local. चाहे वहाँ से वो कारपेट खरीद रहा है, चाहे वहाँ से वो लेडीज शॉल खरीद रहा है, चाहे वहाँ से वो सम वॉलनट वुड की कार्व्ड आइटम खरीद रहा है, चाहे वो शिकारा राइड में जा रहा है, चाहे वो हाउस बोट में रह रहा है, चाहे वो कश्मीरी वाजवान खाना खा रहा है या कुछ भी है, चाहे कहीं पे रुक के वो कावा पी रहा है, चाहे वो किसी के सोमो में बैठ के पहलगाम जा रहा है, जहाँ यू नो wherever गुलमर्ग जा रहा है. This much of money was getting into Kashmiri economy. It was going to Kashmiri people's homes. वो अपने बच्चों को अच्छे से पढ़ा रहे थे, वो अच्छा घर बना रहे थे, वो अच्छे कपड़े पहन रहे थे, and they were investing in their future. Now, if this is the type of peace which was prevailing, everyone wanted it other than Pakistan. Because Pakistan didn't want this image of Kashmir to be... आजकल सोशल मीडिया का जमाना है, आप कश्मीर में जाओगे घूमने के लिए, आप वहाँ से वीडियो डालोगे, जो लोग प्रोपेगेंडा कर रहे हैं कश्मीर में ये गड़बड़ चल रही है, वो आपका वीडियो देखेंगे. अरे यार, समर तो गया था, उसका मैंने वीडियो देखा. एवरीथिंग इज नॉर्मल. इफ एवरीथिंग इज नॉर्मल, देन व्हाई इज पाकिस्तान सेइंग कश्मीर इज एन इशू? नो, फॉर दैट Pakistan's claim that Kashmir is an issue, things should not be normal. And that is the reason Pahalgam happened. And when Pahalgam happened, first time in the history of Kashmir, Kashmiri people, the locals came on the roads against Pakistan, against terrorism. On camera they said, ye galt hai, ye sahi nahi hua. And Pakistan, who claims to be hamdard of Kashmiri people, who is doing all this, so to say, for Kashmiri people. When Pahalgam happened, who suffered? किसके होटल में टूरिस्ट नहीं आए? किसकी सूमो में पैसेंजर नहीं बैठे? किसकी हाउस बोट या शिकारा में लोग नहीं रुके जब कैंसिलेशन हुई? किसके ढाबे में खाना खाने के लिए कोई नहीं आया? किसके नमदे कारपेट शॉल्स नहीं बिके? किसका वॉलनट फर्नीचर नहीं बिका? जो लोग दिन में 15-20 हजार कमा रहे थे, दे केम डाउन टू जीरो. और किसके बच्चों के स्कूल बंद हो गए? सो दिस इज वेयर दिस कश्मीर को जो प्रोजेक्ट किया जाता है ना, वो अलग है. I talked about Kashmiri mothers. जब कश्मीरी मदर जो है, जब कोई टेररिस्ट मरता है, तो all these politicians, there's an ecosystem in Kashmir, I'll talk about it. All these ecosystem people, the ecosystem of local politicians, local vernacular press, the local terrorist, the Pakistani terrorist, the Pakistan army, Pakistan ISI, Pakistan government, Hurriyat, terrorist sympathizers, terrorist funders, you know, all these people जिनकी दुकान चलती है ना terrorism से, that ecosystem doesn't want peace to come back. वो इनकी अहमियत कम हो जाएगी. लेकिन कितने बार ये इकोसिस्टम उस माँ के पास गए हैं जिसका बच्चा इनकाउंटर में मारा गया, बिकॉज इनके कहने पे, इनके भड़काने पे, ही पिक्ड अप अ गन थिंकिंग मैं जिहाद कर रहा हूं, एंड व्हेन ही डाइड, डिड एनी वन ऑफ दीज पीपल गो टू दैट मदर एंड से कि आपका बच्चा मरा? बिकॉज शी विल क्वेश्चन, शी विल से मेरा बेटा आपके कारण मरा है, आपके स्टेटमेंट्स के कारण मरा, आपके गलत प्रोजेक्शन के कारण मरा है. बिकॉज मदर इज अ मदर इज अ मदर. मदर लॉस्ट अ सन. उस कश्मीरी माँ की क्या गलती है जिसके बच्चे ने इनकी बातों में आकर के गन उठाई और मारा गया? क्या वो बेटा नहीं है किसी का? क्या वो कश्मीरी नहीं है? क्या वो माँ कश्मीरी नहीं है? लेकिन दिस इकोसिस्टम will not question these things or will not ask that mother because it doesn't suit their agenda. So कश्मीर की परतों में ना बहुत कुछ है, and the person who knows Kashmir can speak about it.
You saw that video जो जिसकी मैं बात
Yeah, I saw that video.
What was your reaction, first reaction?
See, that video, I will say there are two versions of that video. One is every time that man probably pushed a tourist on the cable, he said a prayer for his well-being. कि अभी आपकी हिफाजत अल्लाह करे या whatever, खुदा करे या be safe. That is one version. That means till that moment he also was not aware of the firing going on. Then when this tourist is shooting the video, the firing going on down below, some people say that man knew that firing is going on, but still he pushed him. So I don't know where the truth lies.
What do you feel?
No, I said I don't know where the truth lies. There are two versions. Both could be right, both could be wrong. So unless I know the truth, I will not give an opinion. So the fact of the matter is, in broad daylight, Pahalgam happened. Fact of the matter is, the innocent, unarmed tourists and civilians were segregated on the basis of religion. The people were killed in front of their mothers, their fathers, their daughters, their wives. Now that is not acceptable in any religion. That is not acceptable under any circumstances or any explanation. So that is where Pahalgam was the most heinous crime. It was a crime against humanity. It was, जिसको हम कहते हैं ना कि no sane human can indulge in act like this. That only shows they were so badly radicalized that they, did something like this. How can you kill someone in front of a newly married wife? How can you segregate people by putting their pants down and on the basis of religion and telling them to recite kalma? Is this what the humanity has come to? And when this terrorist organized, first they accepted, yes, we did it. The resistance front, which is a front of Lashkar-e-Taiba. And when there was a, sort of resentment and sort of hue and cry against this act, suddenly imagine a terrorist organization coming out and saying, we done our internal audit and we found out we have not done it. I written it in my third book, Operation Sindoor. Yeah. Since when the terrorist organizations are carrying out audit to find out whether they done an act of terror or not? When on the first instance they said, we have done it, we are responsible, we carried it out. And later on they said, no, हमने internal audit किया, ये हमने नहीं किया. That is the hypocrisy of Pakistan. And who is the sufferer? That day, those 22 tourists, on 22 April, the tourists who got killed, 26 of them, in Pahalgam, it is not the tourists who got killed. It is the livelihood of the Kashmiris which got killed. It is the future of the Kashmiri child who was going to school who got killed. It is the future of Kashmiri child who probably was still in mother's womb, whose future got killed. It was the, that Jannat we say. Yeah. That feeling got killed that day. Humanity got killed that day. And good thing is, Kashmiris came out and condemned it.
Sir, in your book Operation Sindoor, which you wrote, the first chapter is the catalyst, right? You talk about April 22, 2025, a black day, what happened. The response took some time. Asita said, I am a 90 born, so I have not seen war, right? In my lifetime, Kargil was also, I was very small, but now today wars are very different. It is more about airspace, drones, etc. But, and I think your book, you were telling me downstairs, is the only book that's been approved by the intelligence to come out. And many things, of course, you cannot still mention in the book about the intelligence, etc. But, sir, the planning of Operation Sindoor, when it happened, like you are a, you've when you speak about Kashmir, I can feel the energy that aapke kan mein Kashmir hai. You love love bhi understatement hai, but tanu pyar hai wo jagah naal, right? Passion hai, pyar wo jagah naal hai. But sir, when it happened, and you were, of course, you served your time there already, you were retired. Sir, when it happened, were you clear in your mind कि जवाब बहुत तगड़ा दिया जाएगा by the government? Operation Sindoor would be carried, because I have some questions in your book, in your strategic communication chapter also you mentioned a lot of things. So I have some follow-up questions for the young people also, because Pakistan had a different narrative on Operation Sindoor कि वो कहते हैं हम जीत गए, कभी जाके 5-0 बोलते हैं, 6-0 बोलते हैं. So my first question, on 22nd, of course, there was a feeling of a lot of rage and anger. But did you feel that the government will hit back? And was the hit back enough, what we gave back to Pakistan?
Simar, if you go back, when Uri happened, there were a response, which was a purely army response, going and hitting the terror launch pads, which assist in infiltration of terrorists around 3 to 5, 7 kilometers along the line of control in Jammu region, in Kashmir region. So that was a pure one service response, that is only army response, and limited in depth to about 5 to 7 kilometers from the line of control. When Pulwama happened, again single service response, Air Force response, went and hit Balakot. Now when Pulwama happened, only the Air Force response at Balakot, and the response was not limited to the line of control or Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Indian Air Force fighters flew over the line of control over Pakistan occupied Kashmir, entered actual Pakistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Balakot is not in Pakistan occupied Kashmir, Balakot is in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So they overflew line of control, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and went and bombed Balakot and came back safe. They infiltrated Pakistan air defense, they infiltrated Pakistan defenses, and they came back safe. So this response was a little graduated higher than the Uri response, which was pure army, limited to 5 to 7 kilometers. Now the limit had gone right up to the main Pakistan. And now when Pulwama happened, Pahalgam happened, now the response has to be bigger than this. The previous benchmarks were Uri, 5 to 7, Balakot, mainland Pakistan, KPK, and now the response had to be bigger. Otherwise, it would be seen that government did not react appropriately. So I was very clear, the response will be there, response will be very violent, and response will be very harsh. And on the night of 6th, 7th May, I was in Delhi. On 9th May, in fact, I was with the Prime Minister before the 10th May strikes happened on 9th evening. That's a separate issue. Now, on the night of 6th, 7th May, when we went in purely on terror targets, 9 terror targets. And that's not declaration of war. That is not an act of war, that's a retaliation to Pahalgam. If you take your mind back when Abbottabad, US Marines came in, picked up Osama bin Laden. They had flown into Pakistan, they landed, they picked up Osama bin Laden, killed a few people and took him away. That was not an act of war. That was retaliation to 9/11. Similarly, hitting the terror targets, who was responsible for Pahalgam, was not an act of war. None of our soldiers crossed the border, none of our aircrafts crossed the border. And we, on that night, we said very clearly, we are hitting only terror targets. We have not hit any military installation. We have not hit any civilian installation or civilian population. And we don't want escalation. When Pakistan retaliated and killed our civilians in J&K and Punch, now that is act of war. When Pakistan hit back, intending to hit our military bases and air bases, of course we didn't allow it to happen.
Yeah.
We intercepted halfway through. That is an act of war when you try and hit or intend to hit military bases. Now that is an act of war. So Pakistan enlarged an act of war. Then we retaliated. And when we retaliated on the 10th of May by hitting the 11 air bases, hitting the aircrafts on ground in air, the highest, the longest aircraft being brought down at 314 kilometers of range. Now when that happened, all the Pakistani air bases on the eastern flank, that is Pakistan's east and our western border, are within 300 kilometers of the international boundary or line of control. When they realized that aircraft can be brought down at 314 kilometers inside, that is when they refused to fly. And that is when at 3:35 p.m. on 10th of May, before that Pakistanis had approached USA, they had approached Saudi Arabia for mediation.
Yeah, like they always do.
They always do. They ran that we want ceasefire. Now they realize, there's something called war stamina. After 4 days, Pakistan's economy being what it is, Pakistan's army being what it is, and our economy, our defense forces. After 4th day, the war stamina of a country vis-a-vis the other, that is Pakistan's war fighting stamina against India, starts depleting. That means if that started at here, after 1 day, this is India, this is Pakistan, this is the way it goes. So longer war is always in India's favor. Because we have the economic might to support our war efforts, we have the military might to support our war efforts. Vis-a-vis Pakistan, they do not have that war stamina. So after 4th day, when we were in a position to hit them more militarily, and if we wanted to extend the war, even the economic assets, infrastructure, we could have done it. But we accepted their request for ceasefire. When they went to USA, went to Saudi Arabia, we said, no, it's a bilateral. And then at 3:35 p.m. on 10th May, their Director General Military Operation called up Indian Director General Military Operations and begged for ceasefire, begged. We could have said no. But we, being a responsible democracy, responsible nuclear state, responsible military, knowing fully well that both the countries are nuclear weapon states, we acted with the responsibility and we accepted that ceasefire. Although a lot of people in India still feel, why didn't we press on? We didn't press on because we are a responsible nation. Now see what's happening in Russia, Ukraine. See what's happening in Iran. Now no one knows how to end the war. Because they never had an end state in mind. We were very clear, our aim is to hit the terror targets. And our end state was, moment we hit the terror targets, we have achieved our political and military aim. We don't want extension of war after that. So that's what happened.
Sir, you mentioned, your response and so forth. But out of the 10 chapters, sir, I think one, because we are in the new age media, the youngsters, the Instagram reels, we rely on a lot of those 60 seconds narratives. I feel narratives are always important, but now because India in itself is very young as a country, so the narrative which is sold to, let's say, a 22-year-old girl or a 28-year-old boy defines the country's sentiment. You mentioned strategic communication, and I also personally feel that, we should have pressed, but I'm not an expert, right? But I'm just a citizen of this country, but who felt humiliated when the 22nd April incident happened. But sir, the battle of narratives is today, if you see globally also in organizations also, it's a battle of narratives. Donald Trump goes to Truth Social and says, I have mediated this war to stop. And a lot of this young India, because the perception of India being a Atmanirbhar and, this Shakti, वो काउंटर होने लग गया. कहते यार ये तो मतलब ट्रंप ने तो ठीक करा है, यहाँ पे हमारी कंट्री डिफरेंट चीज़ बोलती है. दो द ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर क्लेरिफाइड इट इन कपल ऑफ डेज. What is your viewpoint on this? Like, do you feel, Mr. Trump, and you've been, I'll talk about Iran and what's happening later on, but what is your viewpoint on all of this?
Simar, as you mentioned today, the environment has changed. Thanks to internet, thanks to media, social media. Wars used to be fought, and there used to be always a fog of war, there used to be always lies. Similarly, even in today's wars, battle of narratives is part of the game. When any nation plans a war, the narrative building is planned alongside. In fact, narrative building at times precedes the war fighting. And that's what exactly happened. Now, Pakistan, narrative building is a very streamlined process. DGISPR controls the narrative. They say, okay, this is the line we are going to run. They have a proper machinery, they have a proper force. Who would spread that narrative? Who would create that content? In India, we being a democratic country, everyone is free to do whatever they want to do. Everyone tries to do something on their own. But the concentrated narrative building of DGISPR versus the diversified narrative spread. And we believe in transparency. I've been a Corps Commander in Kashmir. My biggest narrative was, I am being transparent. I will tell you the truth. Because झूठ के पाँव नहीं होते. At some stage, it will come out कि सच्चाई ये है. So there was a different approach for narrative building or strategic communication, as you were saying. And the biggest narrative, you made a reference in the passing, 506070. A lot of your viewers will feel this is a Pakistani narrative. It is not. Pakistani Prime Minister in Pakistan after the war finished said 50. We brought down 5 Indian aircrafts. He goes to Turkey after a few days.
60.
He says 60.
Yeah.
He goes to United Nations and he says 70. And I don't know उसके बाद कहीं गया कि नहीं गया और क्या बोला है. But fact of the matter is, the aircraft losses, which the war sort of ceasefire on 10th of May, how come the losses were increasing with every passing day? And why this 506070? See, in the world, weapons industry is the biggest industry. Military industrial complex is the biggest commodity being sold, most expensive commodity is being sold. And now you look at the array of weapon systems. First time in the history of world, 2 nuclear powers came face to face, if we don't count out Kargil. And first time the 2 nuclear powers came face to face and there was a war. On one side, that Indian side, there were Indian weapon systems, the joint venture weapon systems like BrahMos, there were Russian weapon systems like S-400, there were French weapon systems like Rafales. On the other side, the Chinese weapon systems, the American F-16s, their Turkish drones. Now they're fighting each other. Now, after the end of this 4 wars, if it is declared that India won, Chinese missiles, Chinese radars, Chinese aircraft could not penetrate the Indian air defense and could not hit any of Indian air bases or military bases. F-16s could not hit any Indian air bases or military air bases. And Turkish drones could not do any damage inside India. And all these third world countries which are buying weapons, where do you think they will go to buy weapons from? Will they buy Chinese weapon? Will they buy Turkish? Will they buy F-16s? So a narrative was built by the West that they can't deny the fact that we hit the 11 air bases. They can't deny the fact that we downed their air force. They can't deny the fact that we penetrated the air defense on the first day by hitting 9 terror targets. And we penetrated the same air defense which was Chinese, the radars and other things, again on 10th of May and hit 11 air bases. They can't deny that we hit their aircrafts on ground and the air. So what is the narrative? 506070 to try and project that Chinese, Turkish and American weapons won, so that their sales doesn't get affected. So this is how it happens.
And how
लड़ाई कहीं हो रही है, लड़ कोई और रहा है, नुकसान किसी और का होने वाला है, तो वो एक narrative चलाता है.
Yeah.
And that is the narrative which is.
And how do you see President Trump? You've not mentioned. in your...
No, in the book I mentioned.
But how do you see him?
You know, I use the word Trump jumped the gun. When the ceasefire thing was happening,
Yeah.
Pakistanis went to Americans to mediate. They went to Saudi Arabia to mediate. They didn't, or we didn't accept their mediation. And then, since it's a bilateral thing, we told them, if you want to come, you request. So when the DGMO called up at 3:35, and it was agreed that, okay, 5 p.m., after 1 hour 25 minutes, we will have cessation of hostilities. That means hostilities will cease. So Pakistanis went back and informed the Americans, कि हो गई बात, 5 बजे ceasefire हो जाएगा. And Trump jumped the gun. Normally when a ceasefire happens, what happens is both the countries will call their press conferences, and both the countries in their respective countries or their ambassadors in some place or whatever, they declare that we have reached an agreement of ceasefire, and they take a few questions and what are the terms and other things. And normally that is how the ceasefire is declared.
Absolutely.
But here Trump jumped the gun. And he went on Truth Social and said, I mediated and the ceasefire is happening, which has been denied in Indian Parliament. The talk between Prime Minister Modi and Mr. Trump during this period, first talk happened when after Pahalgam, President Trump called up Prime Minister Modi to show his solidarity or pay his condolences on the death of the Indian citizens. That happened after Pahalgam, but before Operation Sindoor started. Next talk between the Prime Minister Modi and Mr. Trump happened when in Canada, our Prime Minister was there, Trump was there, and they were to engage in a meeting. But Mr. Trump had to leave suddenly for some domestic compulsions. So he called up the Prime Minister to say, I'm sorry, we will not be able to meet and I have to leave. In between these two talks, there was never a talk. And that was the period of Operation Sindoor. If President Trump has not spoken to Prime Minister Modi, then where is the claim of mediating a ceasefire? Ceasefire happened because Pakistani DGMO called up Indian DGMO at 3:35 p.m. on 10th of May 2025 and begged for cessation of hostilities, which we accepted in spite of being in a position of strength where we could have caused more damage to Pakistan. That is where the ceasefire happened.
So talking about Pakistan, we talked about the narrative building. So do you think that now Pakistan is to be talked about that much? Do you think that it is something India should not worry about? Pakistan, we should worry about growing our economy, increasing our defense budget, focusing maybe on China, which is a silent dragon sitting, focusing on our, the other issues in the country. Or do you feel it is also part of narrative building that जो पाकिस्तान की बात होगी ना तो फिर सारे इंडिया में वो emotions आ जाता है? Is really Pakistan a threat, or they will continue to be this notorious threat? Because there is a very interesting relation that Pakistan has with US, which will come on, the whole Iran theory also. And Pakistan always projects, अभी भी अब देखो वो कहता है जी उनके प्राइम मिनिस्टर कहते हैं हम मीडिएट करा रहे हैं जी US and Iran को लेके. So my first spot, is Pakistan real threat, or it just become a narrative or an emotion in the country?
See, India is never bothered about Pakistan. India has 110 things to be concerned about or to look at or to be focused on. Pakistan, I don't think figure in this 110. Pakistan is a, occasional 111th or 171st. Whereas for Pakistan, India is always the first thing. When they talk about it.
क्यों नहीं हटते मतलब?
Their survival is based on India. Their survival is based on Kashmir. When you look at Pakistani rupee vis-a-vis dollar, you look at the cost of petrol and diesel in Pakistan, you look at the cost of rozmarra ki cheezein, dal, chawal, atta, chini in Pakistan. So much so, the Prime Minister is saying कि एक टाइम का खाना बंद कर दो. The Prime Minister is saying कि एक रोटी कम कर दो. If that is the condition of a country, and you've seen the elite, how their military officers were living when that 9th of May thing happened. उनके यहाँ पर तो फ्रिज में क्या कुछ पड़ा हुआ है, strawberries and ghee and what not. And common Pakistani is dying of hunger. उसको बोला जाता है कि तुमने घबराना नहीं है. To take his attention away, the only one thing which binds Pakistan together, that is Kashmir एंटी इंडिया. सो वो उनको जरूरी है अपनी पब्लिक को ध्यान बटाने के लिए.
From the main aspects
From
of
the main aspects which are
Berozgari
plaguing Pakistan. That is military corruption, political corruption, and democratic rigging of elections, and the common person being seen as a terrorist by any visa-giving country. And anyway terrorist act in the world, Pakistan's connection is there.
Yeah.
So they have to take the image away from that. Whereas India is seen as the growing economy. The GDP growth, we are 1/6 of the world in population.
Yeah.
किसी को सुई भी बनानी है ना तो बेचने के लिए इंडिया आना पड़ेगा.
Consumption इधर ही है.
Consumption इधर ही है. Why do you think this Miss India, Miss World, Miss Universe? Because वो beauty commodities हैं. Whatever the girls use. वो बेचने के लिए यहाँ का जो इंडियन यंग गर्ल्स हैं उनकी एस्पिरेशंस को बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. When they will see a Miss Universe, Miss World happening, they will see, I also want to be this. And for that, these multinationals will come and sell their products. Okay, you look beautiful, you use this. That is the soft power of India. Software is a soft power of India. Human resource is a soft power of India. We are concentrating on those. Economy is growing. हमें नहीं है पाकिस्तान से कुछ भी चिंता. क्योंकि हमारा सर्वाइवल हमारा है. We have our own internal fault lines, own internal issues to look at, which respective governments are doing it.
Sir, US Pakistan का बड़ा क्या रिलेशन है? मतलब जियोपॉलिटिकली, because I want to now touch base because what's happening globally and now zoom out from the India Pakistan and maybe then end with my favorite viz Wafadari, Imaandari और Zimmedari की बात हम करते हैं because that will touch base a lot of leadership lessons. But sir, US and Pakistan, they have a very win-win relation, I feel, right? US feels that कि वो पाकिस्तान को लगता है मेरा बड़ा भाई बैठा है, इंडिया तो कुछ करेगा नहीं. है क्या एग्जैक्टली? मतलब US यूज कर रहा है पाकिस्तान को और पाकिस्तान यूज होना चाह रहा है कि उसके पास कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है?
See, for the benefit of viewers, maximum US flags burnt in the world are in Pakistan.
What are you saying?
Yeah, maximum US flags which are burnt or maximum US flags which are painted on the ground and people trampling over it happens in Pakistan from the allies countries of USA. Now, why this happens? Because a common Pakistani hates USA. Because it is all because of US and the military and the politicians aligning with US. They feel that misery is coming to us. The corruption is happening because USA की backing है. And now coming to your question proper. In spite of that, see, when Iran happened, the only place in the world where US embassy got attacked was in Karachi. And Pakistan is ally of US. The Karachi consulate was mobbed, where the US Marine fired, as per the reports, and killed certain Pakistanis. This happened in Pakistan. And why is Pakistan a darling of USA? Now, for the benefit of your viewers, look at the map. There is a Central Asian Republic, all the erstwhile the USSR states. Their passage goes through Afghanistan or Iran, and then on the north is Afghanistan, which is again an interest of America. Passage goes through Pakistan. Then there is Russia, China. From the Indian Ocean side, the passage goes through Pakistan. Then there is India. To counterbalance India in future, if America has to have a base, the only place is Pakistan. Now come to Africa, the unexplored continent or less explored continent. And for that, the eastern coast, Djibouti is only with China. Gwadar in Pakistan is only with China. Now, if USA wants to have presence in Arabian Sea, the place is Pakistan. Now come to Gulf, which is in the news recently, Iran, unfinished agenda even today. And if they want to carry on operations in Iran, they had the bases in the Gulf countries, didn't succeed much. The only way to tackle Iran is from the east, that is Pakistan. Strait of Hormuz, 20% of world's energy flows through it. Only way to control Strait of Hormuz physically is to sit in Pakistan and do it. Gwadar, Pasni. For that you need Pakistan. And now the Gulf air bases, having been unsuccessful, or provision of security to the Gulf countries by USA, proved to be unsuccessful during the Iran war. What is the best bet in this whole region, which we talked about? America to have bases. Pakistan.
Yeah.
So geostrategically, Pakistan's relevance is so much in this region. And Pakistan's military generals know it. They know their relevance, they also know how to encash it. And that's exactly what is happening. Internally, koi kuch bhi bole USA ko. Politics and military will always be controlled by America. Because America does not want to let go of Pakistan. And that's a truth. That's a geostrategic truth. And that gives relevance to Pakistan. और वो रहेगी. And Pakistan will keep encashing it. You know, generals will come and go, prime ministers will come and go, but this relationship will remain. It can have its ups and downs. It can have its ups and downs. That's why you see maximum Pakistani generals make frequent trips to USA.
Yeah. They're reporting करने जाते हैं वहाँ पे.
Reporting plus building up their future.
Yeah. And also economically, also mining जो करनी है US को, वो भी तो इधर ही है ना.
देखो, that rare earth minerals,
हाँ, minerals के लिए.
Cryptocurrency, family interests of Trump in Pakistan, crypto and other areas. उसकी तो हम बात ही नहीं कर रहे. That may change after this president. We are talking of harsh realities of geostrategy.
Geostrategy.
So वो जो individual interests हैं, they can, you know, go up and down with the people in chair.
सर पुरानी जब हिस्ट्री बुक्स पढ़ते थे और जब वॉर्स को देखते थे तो ये होता था कि पहले तो ऑन ग्राउंड ही वॉर्स लड़ी जाते ना. किसी के पास टैंक आ गया और किसी ने किसी का राजा मार दिया, महाराजा मार दिया, तो बोलते थे जीत गए. अब तो नैरेटिव्स की स्टोरी है सारी. बट सर US ईरान में ईरान का राजा मार देते हैं एंड वेरी लॉजिकली लाइक एनी सिंपल कॉमन मैन कि ठीक है भाई US जीत गया. बट ऐसी फीलिंग आ नहीं रही US जीत गया. राजा मारने के बाद भी ईरान इज हिटिंग बैक. मतलब मिडल ईस्ट में उन्होंने डाल दिया. दुबई में, दुबई का टूरिज्म इतना डाउन हो गया. दुबई का जो रियल एस्टेट जो इतना बोलते थे कि दुबई इज द सेफेस्ट कंट्री, और बोले इंडियन पंजाबी बोलते थे कि सब तो सेफेस्ट कंट्री. नाउ देयर आई थिंक रीथिंकिंग what is happening in US Iran, and can you do a deep dive for the viewers that कि राजा मारने के बाद भी ईरान जिंदा है और ईरान ठोक के आगे आ रहा है, वो कोई बात ही नहीं मान रहा किसी की.
I'll answer this question in two parts. One is from the military point of view. Second is from the nation's way of war fighting point of view. Military point of view is any war, when the nation joins a war, militaries never fight wars. It's the nations who fight wars. Nations go to war, militaries only fight on the borders. So nation has a political aim before they enter a war. That political aim is decided, okay, this is the political aim we want to achieve. And the end state is decided that if we achieve this end state, that means A, B, C, D is achieved, that means our political aim would have been achieved. And once the end state is achieved, then is the exit strategy, which is also decided along with the political aim. कि ये लड़ाई हमने end state ये हो जाएगी, फिर हमने इस लड़ाई से exit कैसे करना है. And this is more relevant when there is an overseas war, like what's happening in Iran. कि उस एरिया से हमने exit कैसे करना है, उस जीती हुए एरिया को हमने किस स्टेट में छोड़ के जाना है, किसके हक में छोड़ के जाना है, किसके कंट्रोल में छोड़ के जाना है, उसके ऊपर फिर रिमोट से या फिजिकली कैसे कंट्रोल करना है, उसके बाद में एग्जिट करना है. नाउ दिस इज हाउ द नेशंस एंटर अ वॉर. पॉलिटिकल एम, एंड स्टेट, exit strategy.
ठीक है जी.
Now from political aim, once this is given, flows the military aim. Military को बोला जाता है कि ये मेरा political aim है, we have to achieve this. Military defines their own aim. From the military aim comes out the military strategy. That means how they are going to strategize the military assets, resources, army, navy, air force, missiles, space, cyber, this, that, nuclear, and how they are going to win this war and achieve the end state. From the military strategy flows military operations. Okay, this formation from this side, this from this side. On D1 we do this, D2, D3, D5, 21 days, 28 days, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, military operations. And then they say, okay, we would have achieved the end state by so and so time. Everything flows from political aim. What happened in US-Israel-Iran war? On day one, the political aim was, and in this type of a situation, the assets, military assets, the naval, carrier support groups and other things and airborne divisions and all those things have to be mobilized. They have to come and, locate in this area, be available for operations as per the political aim, military operation, military strategy. So they analyzed the whole thing. They moved the whole armadas and the forces. Political aim on day one was regime change. Military carried out their analysis accordingly. After 48 hours, the political aim shifts to denuclearization of Iran. Okay, military would have done something, and again, after 2 days, after 48 hours, it shifts. We can fight for 4 to 5 weeks. Timeline aage. And end state, 4 to 5 weeks. But end state achieve karni hai ki nahi karni hai? Ki sirf 4-5 hafte ladna hai. Then after 2 weeks, there's nothing left in Iran to bomb anymore. Another 2 weeks, now we will have to keep the Strait of Hormuz open, which in any case was open before the war started. The political aim shifted from regime change to keeping something open which was already open. How do we expect the militaries to catch up with this shifting of goalpost? And that is where the military assets which 82nd Airborne Division was brought in. They're sitting there to have troops on ground or boots on ground. Never launched. Because abhi State of Hormuz kholni hai, abhi wo regime change piche reh gaya. Then internal uprising will happen. Internal uprising ke liye, there are certain preconditions. There has to be a leadership, there has to be a structure, there has to be a political base, and there has to be incentive and financing of internal uprising. Iran mein, last 47 years mein, there is no opposition. There is no infrastructure, there is no leadership, there is no, district level, state level, national level leadership or hierarchy of opposition. Then Kurds will do the internal uprising. If you look at the demographic map of Iran, Kurds in the northwest are there only in a very tiny strip of land. Now those people cannot do uprising in the whole of Iran, which is mostly Shia. There are other ethnicities. No leadership. Son of Shah of Iran sitting in the UK or some other places tweeting every 7-8 days. If he is so bothered about, why doesn't he go to Iran and lead the uprising? So regime change don't happen like this. And now without boots on ground, you can't overthrow a government. And for the benefit of your viewers, Iran is not like Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar or Saudi Arabia deserts. Iran is a mountainous bowl. Very rugged mountainous bowl with desert inside. Mainland, where the temperature rises to 60 degrees during summers, and summers are coming. To cross those mountains, physically capturing them is a Herculean task. There is no sport base within Iran. There is no logistics base within Iran. There are no airstrips which you can operate your aircraft from. How do you support logistically your forces which have gone in? So that is for the military aspects of it. Now coming to the way nations prepare for war. America, we all know, have n number of contingencies across the world. North Korea, Taiwan, Afghanistan, Iran, Cuba, Venezuela, Greenland, and what have you. Now, American military is looking at all these contingencies and many more. I have not even spoken of China and Russia. Many more all the time. They are wargaming it. So if there is a military which is looking at 20, 30, 40 contingencies and they don't even know kab honi hai wo, how much focus do you think they can have on each? How much training they can have about each? How many rehearsals they can have of each? How many times they can practice each? Whereas Iran for last 40 years has been looking at only one contingency, which is playing out.
Yeah.
They were preparing for it.
Yeah.
They were training for it. They were equipping for it. They didn't make a navy of high seas. Because they're very clear they're never going to fight on high seas. They can never defeat American Navy on high seas. They were fighting, they were creating a navy of choke points. They were creating the torpedo boats to fight on choke points on the water. They were fighting, they were creating missiles. They were creating drones, they were creating air defense. And they were prepared for this war, and they were preparing for this war for 40 years. They're preparing only for this war, which is now happening on ground. And they knew the strikes will happen, the leadership, Raja marega. They had worked out this. They have 31 headquarters of IRGC, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. 31 of them are capable of operating independently. They knew their electronic warfare, their communication will be killed. They were prepared, designed, equipped, trained to fight an isolated war. And they're doing it. They knew that, the Daisy cutters and B-2 bombers will destroy their tunnels. Their capability to destroy 60 meters, 200 feet. They have tunnels under the mountains at 500 feet depth. They have cities, the missiles based in that. Nobody can touch those storage places. So they knew exactly how the war is going to go out. It's like a leopard chasing a deer. Leopard is only looking for today evening's meal. Deer is looking to survive. उसकी जिंदगी का सवाल है, उसके सिर्फ शाम के खाने का सवाल है. Who do you think will run better?
Deer, 100%.
So that's exactly what's happening.
तो नैरेटिव क्या हो रहा है सर अभी? What's the narrative?
नैरेटिव देखो, नैरेटिव में नैरेटिव चलते हैं. नैरेटिव ये होता है कि you can say I won the war. But today's warfare, today's social media, electronic media, internet, people are asking questions. They are already asking. Like I said, political aim is shifting. So what defines you winning the war? Does it mean regime change? It's not happened. So technically you are not won. Was it denuclearization of Iran? That's not happened. So technically you are not won. The internal revolution, has it happened? No. So technically you are not won. And now if you say कि state of Hormuz mutually agreeable conditions पे open कर देंगे,
तो पहले open था.
वो तो पहले open था. Now that will be declared as victory. But does it mean victory? And the war which has implications for the whole world. Your cameraman was not getting the gas cylinder.
Yeah.
What was his mistake? Why was he made to undergo that pain? Now, of course, it has got streamlined. Because initial panic, the stock market, people have lost so much of money. Stock markets are going like this, either way. One tweet and market goes down, another tweet, the market goes up. Yeah. The only person who makes the tweet knows कि उससे 15 मिनट पहले क्या करना है. So the whole world is getting impacted by the war. Shifting sands is a concept in this region. Is this war being fought on the concept of shifting sands? And is this war, which is impacting the whole world, taking world along? Is this war taking UN along? Is this war taking EU along? Is this war taking NATO along? Is this war taking otherwise allies along? Then whose war is it anyway? And what are we achieving after this war?
Do you think United States perception has gone down? Perception of power, and you mentioned that कि जो 15 मिनट पहले ट्वीट कर रहा है उसको पता है कि क्या होने वाला है. And when there is a businessman who's running a country, running the world's largest, most powerful country, which is Donald Trump, then you start thinking, and when you mentioned UN and other things, then you start thinking कि यार ये तो मतलब there is absolute power तो नहीं है फिर. मतलब ultimately if वो कहते हैं ना सर, the most powerful person in a room is that person जिसको पता है कि मैं सबको खत्म कर सकता हूँ, लेकिन the person choose not to. That is the most powerful person.
Power is not in execution.
Yeah.
Power is in being.
Yeah.
Nuclear weapons are not weapons of destruction.
Yeah.
They're weapons of deterrence.
Yeah.
And as per definition, the most powerful weapon is a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
Now, once you have used it,
yeah,
that's not power. Your deterrence that I will use it if you don't behave is your power.
Yeah.
Threat in being is more than, executing
Actually
that threat.
executing.
So power lies somewhere else. And talking about this thing which you said about tweeting and market, see, there are a lot of theories going around. God alone knows what is truth, what is not. But these theories will be investigated tomorrow. And there will be certain things which will come out. And let's see where it goes.
Sir, one country which I am not a geopolitical geek, but I love to read what's happening globally. One country which I'm only worried of is the silent dragon, which is sitting silently, which is China. Taiwan पे जो हो रहा है, geopolitical के जो students हैं, यार ये सर चाइना क्या कर रहा है, कुछ पता तो होता नहीं. व्हाट इज चाइना डूइंग? अपना धड़ाधड़ डेवलपमेंट तो कर ही जा रहा है, अपना कंट्री को बढ़ा रहा है, बट चाइना इज आउट ऑफ दिस एंटायर. यूएस यूक्रेन आपस रशिया यूक्रेन लड़ रहे हैं, यूएस ईरान लड़ रहा है, इंडिया पाकिस्तान कर रहा है, चाइना चुपचाप बैठा है एंड इज जस्ट कैप्चरिंग द एंटायर साउथ ईस्ट एशिया. क्या चल रहा है? व्हाट इज योर टेक ऑन चाइना?
China had a very deliberate strategy of growing economically till the time you are able to dictate terms. And China had a lot of issues, and China also has a policy of not resolving any issue which is not on their terms. China believes the next generation is going to be more intelligent and they will resolve it. But if you are ready to bow so much that it's absolutely on my terms, then I will resolve it with you. That's why our boundary dispute with China remains where it remains.
Yeah.
Now coming to your question on how does China, what is China doing, what is China not doing, and how does China gain?
Yeah.
First of all, openly no one is supporting Iran, neither China nor Russia nor North Korea.
Yeah.
But there are reports to suggest that China has provided the intelligence about US bases in the Gulf to Iran. Of course, the missile technology and all, they have always cooperated. And China has also provided intelligence about the post-strike damage assessment. That means they gave you the target intelligence, you hit the target, they gave you the damage assessment. So that if you need, you can hit again. So that is what the news is. Now I'll give you a scenario. Gulf countries, you said it was a place where people were very comfortable, business, security, peace, law and order, and economies were growing. Now, if that was a state, and who was providing the security against Shia Iran? USA. They gave their bases to USA, they bought US weapons and equipment, and they allowed world to come and have good businesses there and zero tax and other things, under the assurance that Iran will not do anything. Otherwise, the Arab Shia, animosity or the rivalry goes back very, very long time.
Yeah.
So that assurance was given by USA by physical military presence. Now that bubble has burst. That physical military security was not 100% foolproof. Now Arab countries have to do business. Iran is there to stay. They wanted USA and Israel to finish it off once and for all, which is not happening. Now look at a scenario. When the physical security is not possible by military and physical means, what is the other option? समझौता कर लो. समझौता कैसे होगा? China will say, you are dealing in petrodollars. I assure you Iran will not harm you. Let's deal in petro-yuan. And I will guarantee your security.
But they've already said that, no?
Yeah. See, what I'm saying is, this is how the geopolitics plays. Why dollar is the strongest currency? Because 1973 petrodollar thing. Tomorrow if it becomes petro-yuan and China says, I will give you guarantee, I won't even bring my military bases here.
To the US?
No, to Gulf countries.
Gulf countries.
I won't even have my bases here, you don't even have to provide me space. Okay, thoda bahut de dena ek aadha port here and there. But I will make sure Iran doesn't attack you. That assurance is mine. Now, how does that scenario play out?
Very likely,
tomorrow, what's going to happen in international diplomacy is anyone's guess. But one thing is sure, in this whole game of Iran war, if there's one winner, that is China.
100%.
That is China. For future point of view.
And what they're doing in Southeast Asia also, in Taiwan, चुप-चुपी से लगे हुए हैं.
See, when the images shatter,
Yeah,
may it be Vietnam,
yeah.
may it be Afghanistan. When the military or the power images shatter, it has its impact on others. After the Iran war, let's see how it goes. If the US military might image is shattered, then world will look for alternatives. Because वो थानेदार तो चाहिए. You know, that you said the strongest man in the room, वो तो चाहिए. Now, who is going to be that strongest man in the room? And how is he going to make sure that things are okay? Will the multipolarity change? Will the international diplomacy change? Will the strategic autonomies of smaller nations change? So who will decide who is the boss?
Yeah.
So there is a lot of churning happening.
Yeah.
तो जब सागर मंथन होता है तो अमृत ही निकलता है. तो लेट्स सी.
Interesting times ahead. सर, अच्छा सर, आगे वॉर ऐसी लड़ी जाएंगी सर? इट वुड बी ऑल अबाउट एयर स्पेस ओनली नाउ? मतलब अभी जब हम ग्राउंड की बात करते हैं, बिकॉज वी नॉट सीइंग दैट, सो इट इज अबाउट वॉर स्पेस, इट इज अबाउट एयर स्पेस, साइबर अटैक्स. दिस इज द न्यू एज वॉर, दैट हाउ वी गोइंग टू फाइट?
This is the attrition war. If you want to cause attrition, this is war. But if you want to achieve a political aim and end state, no single service or no single way of war fighting can win you a war. Not only the Army, Navy, Air Force, space, cyber, you know, all those things. You need economic might, you need diplomatic might, you need strategic might, you need, you know, the military might, you need space, cyber, and all those things. So it has to be a whole of nation approach. And with the question proper, more relevant to Indian context, after Operation Sindoor and after this war, is the next war going to be only drones and missiles and air defense? No. Our borders, starting from Jammu upwards, going right up to Arunachal Pradesh and Myanmar, our borders are in the mountains. Highest battlefield in the world, Siachen, Himalayas. In those areas, the drones and all, they lose their efficacy as the altitude goes up. And these are the weapons of level ground with a line of sight visibility and line of sight engagement range. When you do not have line of sight, when the weather plays spoil sport, you do not have 24/7 flying capabilities, when the wind speeds are so high that they can drift a small little drone, and those drones lose their efficacy as the altitude goes up, there the war of a soldier on ground, जिसका जिगरा है ना, वो वार जीतेगा वहाँ पे. So in the Indian context, the military, the infantry, the artillery, the armor is there to stay.
In the future also.
In the future also, because our battlefields are such. जिस एरिया की हम बात कर रहे हैं वो तो इंटरनेशनल बाउंड्री है ना, उसमें तो होल्डर्स कीपर्स नहीं है. आप जीत लो जितना भी जीतना, वापस देना पड़ेगा. Whereas in the line of control, it's holders keepers. There whatever you win or whatever you capture is yours. You don't vacate it after that.
I'll come to the Viz ਜਿਹੜੀ book ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, but ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸਰ, did you watch the film Dhurandhar?
No, I have not.
नहीं देखी ਤੁਸੀਂ?
I hardly watch Hindi movies.
But do you know what it is about? तो idea है धुरंधर बारे?
खुफिया का मुखिया रह चुका हूँ.
आपको पता ही होगा ना. अच्छा सर, one person I want to talk about is, though they say that it is fiction based on true events, maybe sir, I more rely on facts which is there. But one person sir which R. Madhavan has played is Ajit Doval, and you've been in intelligence. So can you tell more about Ajit Doval? What right now ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕੋਈ dealing ਰਹੀ ਹੈ sir?
Yes, yes. है ना? I dealt very closely with Mr. Ajit Doval, the National Security Advisor, when I was a corps commander in Kashmir, and even when I was the Director General Defence Intelligence Agency. It was very frequent and regular interactions and, you know, professional interactions, the intelligence-based interaction. He is a very clear-headed person. He is a person who knows what he is doing. And best thing which I found what Mr. Doval was, which is lacking in most of the people who reach the higher echelons, he listens. वो सुनते हैं आपकी बात. You know, he is not in a hurry to give his point of view. Most of us at that level are wanting to tell that youngster or the middle rank officer No, you don't know. I'll tell you how to do it. He's not like that. He will listen, that ear to the ground. वो feedback वहीं से आनी है. He will listen, he will analyze, he will grant you your research. He will pat you. Then afterwards, there may be a different line taken of doing things. But fact is, he will not just push you aside. He's a very good listener. And that's a very, very good quality in anyone who is in a senior position. घर में ही जो है, grandfather, grandmother. अभी प्रॉब्लम क्या आती है आजकल की Gen Z. पापा you don't know. ओ भाई पापा knows. And second problem आती है, पापा you can't understand what I'm saying. Because Papa is not even listening to that young child or grandpapa. You listen to the young child and then say, beta, I listen to you, I understand your point of view. This is how we can go about it. But if you don't listen and you try and impose your will, यार आपका बच्चा नहीं सुन रहा, आपके तो दूसरा कहाँ सुनेगा? So Mr. Doval is a very good listener.
Any interesting incident that you can share?
Intelligence वाले ना बात नहीं करते हैं.
नहीं कर सकते ना, ठीक है. But sir, coming to my last chapter and your book also, which I feel that because a lot of our listeners are, I told you, entrepreneurs, professionals, working in organizations, is the viz. इसके पीछे सर मुझे बताओ वफादारी, ईमानदारी और जिम्मेदारी के पीछे क्या thought process था? And then I have some couple of questions and then we'll conclude this conversation, sir.
Viz, वफादारी, ईमानदारी, जिम्मेदारी are three personality traits or human qualities which are a must in every person who wants to influence the life of others. It can be a mother, it can be a father, it can be a manager, it can be a CEO, it can be a minister, it can be whatever you have. If these three qualities are there, rest everything falls in place of this. And why this title? My first book, which is there on the table, Kitne Ghazi Aaye, Kitne Ghazi Gaye. This is the first book, my debut book. Sold more than 60,000 copies. Won a Crossword Book Award. And when I went with this script to the publishers, Penguin Publishing House, so they told me ours is an international brand and, we would like the book title to be in English. I said, no, like we discussed, I said, a statement has, echoed or has resonated with the public. And कहानी का title तो यही रहेगा. Then they said the book में जो picture है, जो photograph on the cover page is very ferocious. They said the readers are very soft-hearted people and we don't want a ferocious-looking photograph. I said, no, this photograph also is of their press conference of 19th of February 2019. I insisted on this photograph only. And then they said the language is very simple. We need to do big-time editing. I said, no. People have listened to me on TV, they have listened to my press conferences, they know what type of language I speak. Since it's a first-person book, it's written in first person, it's my story, I don't want the language to be changed. Now, in तीन बातों पे हमारा disagreement हुआ. Title being in Hindi, cover photo being ferocious, and simple language. I held my ground. In the end, they agreed to my conditions, and the book came out. When the book became a hit, some, I think 15-20,000 copies sold in pre-order stage only. Then the next book, when we are planning, the Penguin comes to me and says, sir, what do you think you should write on the next book? I said, I'll write on military leadership ethos and its relevance in the corporate world. Or in any public civilian world. How the military leadership ethos can be imbibed in the corporate world. They said, so we have a request. I said, okay. कहता सर टाइटल हिंदी में होना चाहिए और कवर फोटो ने एक बड़ी खतरनाक सी फोटो होनी चाहिए एंड लैंग्वेज सिंपल होनी चाहिए. Now 3 things of disagreement when the book became a success were the prerequisites for the second book. That's how the title Wafadari, Imaandari, Zimmedari, War Room to Boardroom. How these qualities or military leadership ethos can be transported from war room to boardroom for achieving success in the organization, team building, all those things.
Sir, I think, again, touch basing, because we run a organization. I was telling you about what we're doing at Hijack and, building power infrastructure, sustainable. I think, sir, 3 major issues everybody faces today. One is how to manage conflict. Second is how to manage people at large, right? So whether it is, you mentioned in your chapter about, delegation, manage subordinates, how to manage people. And third most important aspect today is that because the workforce is becoming young, the Gen Z, Gen Alpha, different target, their aspirations are very different. Because, we often say that this is the 4th generation of Indian working now. पहली generation बोलते थे ना, दादा परदादा जी एक ही company में 40 साल थे, वो इसलिए थे because they had to put food on the table. So whether it's not that they liked working in that one enterprise, then the second generation, our parents came where need was taken care. They were working on wants of the children. Then our generation came on कि जी perception building, brand building, storyteller, need, want. फिर अब एक और generation आ गई, which is the 4th generation, जिसका need is taken care, this want is taken care, lifestyle is taken care. How do you inspire and motivate them to work in an organization? So 3 चीजें मैंने पूछी.
Let's go one by one if I remember.
Yes.
First is the conflict
management, sir.
See, conflict management or crisis management is a sentence or a phrase which everyone is aware of. प्रॉब्लम हो गई, अभी ये चल रहा है पॉडकास्ट, लाइट चलेगी, AC ऑफ हो गया, कैमरा ऑफ हो गया, बैटरी खत्म होगी, छोटी सी क्राइसिस है, चलो इसको हैंडल करते हैं. स्पेयर बैटरी कहाँ पे है, वो पीछे जनरेटर ऑन करो, इन्वर्टर ऑन करो. क्राइसिस मैनेजमेंट, एवरीवन डज दिस. In the military, we do crisis navigation. I have written the book. What is crisis navigation? Crisis navigation is you visualize the crisis because you know your job, you know your work, you know how it's going to go, you know your competitors, you know the pitfalls, you know your vulnerabilities. So you visualize the crisis. Once you visualize the crisis, then you do wargaming. If this crisis happens, then you realize कि मेरे पास generator या inverter तो है ही नहीं है. That is a lesson learned from the visualization and wargaming. Then you say, I must have a generator. I must buy an inverter. And then you say, I don't have the battery chargers. I need to buy battery chargers. So once you visualize the crisis, you navigate the crisis, you do the wargaming, you come to certain resources which you need. You come to the training of your human resource which you need. कि आपके बंदों को इस चीज़ की ट्रेनिंग देनी पड़ेगी, ये क्राइसिस आएगी तो वो जो बैटरी चेंज करनी है वो बंदे को सिखाना पड़ेगा कि बैटरी कैसे चेंज करनी है. You need to train your human resource. Then you need to wargame it again. And then I need finances, I need funds. I need to support this crisis navigation thing with my support. Then I need to have reserves in funds. I might have to send people abroad for training. And after all these things, you say, okay, now rehearse. Then you make SOPs, standing operating procedures. Okay, this is how we'll operate and that's how we'll avoid the crisis. And after doing all these things, you keep repeating these rehearsals. Like in the army, we have a firefighting every Saturday. So we do the rehearsals for those things. Like in counter-terrorist operation in JNK, we have the rehearsals of thing called Stand 2, I mentioned in the book, wherein you visualize or you paint a picture of terrorist attack on your post. And then how are you going to face it? So once you've done these rehearsals and all, but still the crisis hits you. Then comes the crisis management part, which everyone else is thinking a crisis. Then you do the crisis management. But now you are better equipped, you are better trained, you have better resources, you have better preparation, you have better SOPs, you have better visualization. You will handle that crisis well. Now after the crisis is over, it's not that hunky-dory and let's party, no. Then you do the analysis. Why this crisis hit in spite of my visualization? In spite of my preparation.
And a root cause analysis.
A root cause analysis. Then you do root cause analysis. Then you do the reset. You do the reorganization of your organization. You do the restart. You do the refit. All these things you do. And then you make sure it does not reoccur. Now this whole process is called crisis navigation. And the next point was?
Sir, Gen Z ko manage kaise kare?
The second point was something else.
Second point was how to manage people. Jaise aap manage,
how to
empowering
manage.
Subordinates.
How to manage. You talked about
manage people at large.
You talked about delegation.
Yeah.
See, you talked about your business.
Yeah.
You talked about a parental business. You talked about your business.
Yeah.
Now, we are humans.
Yeah.
At some stage, everyone has to reach that age where he or she will not be able to work or perform at the same efficiency level because of aging, natural process, or because of some unfortunate incident, you losing life and all. And at that moment, do you want a sudden vacuum or void in the system? If I have not trained my subordinates well, or I have not been delegating powers to my people well, the day I retire, the organization will feel a void. And being in military, suppose that day the war occurs. The new people in the chair or in the office will not know how to handle things. So it's my responsibility to train people, train the manpower, to delegate resources. So by delegation, you are not losing authority. By delegation, you are preparing the next generation for better business ethics, and you are leaving yourself of unnecessary burdens so that you can concentrate on bigger things. So managing people, you have to trust them, you have to delegate, you have to accept mistakes. मतलब छाती इतनी चौड़ी होनी चाहिए कि 3-4 बंदे इस कंधे पे रो रहे हैं, 3-4 इस कंधे पे रो रहे हैं. That is management. It's not that you are shooing away everyone. No, give people space. Give people space to, try, innovate and make mistakes.
And अगर कोई बीच पे mistake की बात की, anyone, you mention in your book that integrity is a non-negotiable, and integrity also is defined that integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching. Let's say integrity is compromised, then there is no second chance or mistake.
There are two types of mistakes. Mistake of omission and mistake of commission. When you do something, fully knowing it is wrong. इसमें मेरे बुक में लिखा हुआ गलती, गुनाह, पाप. The three things. गलती है, गुनाह है, पाप है. I'll give examples. Now, mistake, knowing fully well that it's wrong and you do a mistake, there is a mistake of commission. Your intent is wrong. You do a mistake unknowingly while trying to do things in good faith, mistake happens. That's a mistake of omission. I am not even going to the level of mistake. Mistake of omission is acceptable because person was doing it in good faith. It happened. Mistake of commission is not acceptable. Now I'll come to galti, gunah, paap. Galti is you own a car. उसका पूरा registration ठीक है, उसका fitness ठीक है, उसकी servicing सब ठीक है. You are driving it. You have a driving license which is updated, and you are very much in a sober senses. You're driving a car. It hits a pedestrian or a two-wheeler guy, the man dies. Death हो गई है. But it's a गलती. क्योंकि आपकी कार, RC, insurance, fitness, आपका driving license, you being in a sober senses, is all as per the book, and you had no intention of killing that man. So that is गलती. लेकिन बंदा मर गया. Second is गुनाह. Same car, same thing. Your driving license was impounded because you jumped a light and you are not supposed to be driving. You drive, you hit the same man, he fractures his arm. पहले में बंदा मर गया, अभी सिर्फ आर्म फ्रैक्चर हुई है, लेकिन ये गुनाह है क्योंकि you are not supposed to be driving, but intentionally you drop, लेकिन उस बंदे की बाजू तोड़ दी. So this is गुनाह. Third is पाप. Your vehicle has been found unfit to be on the road. उसके brakes काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, उसका fitness test pass नहीं है. Your license is impounded. You are drunk, coming at 2 in the night. Speed limit is 60. You are driving at 100. You hit a man. He gets a little bruise on the hand. लेकिन ये पाप है. एक बंदा मर गया, वो गलती थी. दूसरे की बाजू टूट गई, वो गुनाह था. तीसरे को सिर्फ ब्रूज लगा, लेकिन वो पाप है क्योंकि you are not supposed to be driving at 100, drunk, without license, without vehicle fitness. So this is where galti, gunah or paap is not decided by the end result, it is decided by your intent. तो जो पहले केस में जो बंदे की डेथ होगी, court will take a lenient view being a galti. तीसरे केस में it's a paap, you are not supposed to be doing it. So this is what military leadership ethics.
Beautiful.
This is what is written in the book. This is what I try to explain in the book. वफादारी, ईमानदारी, जिम्मेदारी.
And sir, last part थोड़ा सा हम लोगों को थोड़ा आइडिया दे दो कि जो यंगस्टर्स आ रहे हैं, they are very pivotal. They will become the backbone of tomorrow. But manage कैसे करें sir? मतलब what?
See, I give talks in a lot of corporates.
Yeah.
And the question is always how to manage or handle Gen Z.
अच्छा आता है question.
आता है, हर question, हर talk में आता है.
हाँ.
In one of the talks, I was in, I think, Ahmedabad. A young girl who was managing, that computers and screens and, all the video share, the पीछे चल रहा था. About 22, 23 years old girl. So when all these people sitting there, the managers, the senior managers, all these people, the CEOs, and once they were done with their questioning in the Q&A, so this young girl came forward and she raised the hand. The organizer said, sir, this girl wants to ask you a question. So she asked me a question. She says, I am Gen Z. How do I handle these people? Those people have a preconceived ideas about us.
Yeah.
So the first time this question came to me. And that video of that answer of mine became very viral. That's a separate issue. Now I'll tell you, what is Gen Z? If you look at the theory of evolution, they're definitely more evolved than us.
100%.
Because humankind is still evolving. So someone with 70 years of age and this young boy or girl with 20 years of age is definitely more evolved. That is the science. Second is, they are born in an era, as you said, where internet is there, where Google is there, where this, that, and everything is there. They have access to better acquisition means of knowledge as compared to when we were young. Our means of knowledge was only parents, teachers, or books. Availability of those also was limited in the language we could read. Now here there are translators, there are online tools to translate Spanish to English or whichever language you speak. So the awareness is more, their ideas are more. But we were brought up in that typical कि अगर ऑफिस जाना है तो full sleeves की शर्ट होनी चाहिए, tucked in होनी चाहिए, ऊपर का बटन बंद होना चाहिए. Does that improve productivity? But we were told and we were following it. And when this youngster in jeans and t-shirt comes with the AirPods in his ears, he is not conforming to those norms. But his productivity is more. So should we look at his jeans and t-shirt or AirPods, or should we look at his productivity? We get carried away by these things. Now coming to Gen Z. Ideas. Now what is an idea? Idea is like a newly conceived baby in the mother's womb. You protect the mother for 9 months. You look after her needs, emotional and medical needs and other things. You make sure she is comfortable. You make sure she is not going on a bumpy ride or whatever. You protect the mother and the baby in the womb for 9 months. Then the baby is born. Best health care, best this medical care. And then you protect the child in infancy, then childhood, then adulthood, then uski padhai likhai, sab kuch karte ho uska, grooming and all. Then he picks up a job, then after 50 years, that idea, the first day in the mother's womb, after 50 years, he becomes Nelson Mandela. Now, if we had not looked after the mother on the day one, we would have not had that man with such brilliance. So idea is like that. You kill an idea on day one when that Gen Z boy or girl told you, sir, we can do this, this shelves can be, inclined at 45 degrees. They're more aesthetic, the books can fit in better, and we can have different size books going into it. You say, no, nonsense. This is the way we have been having for the last 30 years. You killed that idea. You did not allow that idea to become Nelson Mandela. गलती किसकी है? Gen Z की गलती तो नहीं है ना. Gen Z का way of expressing that idea may be wrong. Not wrong, may not be conforming to your way of respectful talking. But what is more important? More important is what that boy or girl is saying. That is exactly what Wiz says. How to handle the youngster. First of all, there are two things. One is you are not listening to the boy or girl, even at home. Like I said earlier, Papa, you don't know. No, it works both ways. When you tell your daughter, who is a college going or a teenager or maybe even at later ages. Our parents even tell us today, beta 7 baje tak ghar aa jana. When he's telling me कि 7 baje ghar aa jana, or when you tell your daughter or sister to come home by 7, you're not interfering with her independence. You're only concerned about her well-being. But how is it being viewed? Papa, you are interfering with me. मेरे और कोई फ्रेंड्स को तो किसी के पापा नहीं बोलते हैं. यार उसकी व्हाट्सएप चैट पढ़ो ना, उसके पापा भी बोलते हैं. But to you, that young girl is saying कि you are interfering with my life. Whereas as a father, you are only being concerned about her safety. That is where the communication is very important. That is where the communication is very important. And you have to find a via media.
Yeah.
But if both parties feel, Papa, you don't know, and beta, you don't obey, then we missed out something. So Gen Z ki bhi zimmewari hai. Papa, you don't know. No, Papa knows. Because Papa has seen more summers and winters than you. Papa, you are interfering. No, Papa is not interfering. Papa is concerned. Because he cares for you. So it works both ways. And both parties have to understand. Like that young girl today, the other day said, sir, how do I handle these all this? You know, they're too stuck with their ideas. They're too stuck with their way of life.
Yeah.
So somewhere both have to compromise. And
Sir, we can have this conversation for next 2-3 hours also. But I will have to conclude it, sir. You know, I was reading and मेरे को ना सर एक चीज़ which I want to conclude this conversation and maybe dedicate this conversation is to your BG. You've spoken about mother. You've spoken so passionately about so many topics, sir. Politics, war, all of these things. But here's a person who lost अपनी mom को. You were what, 2 years old?
3 years old.
3 years old. And then you went to your Nani ji, and your father was in Nepal. And personally, I don't want to get into more personal stuff, but I think, sir, I want to dedicate this conversation to your BG, to your Nani ji, who gave you that rock solid foundation that we got. जो आपने Nelson Mandela की बात की है, had it not been your mom or Nani ji, we wouldn't have.
I wouldn't have been sitting here.
Yeah, this legendary Tiny Dhillon. Please conclude with your Nani ji, sir. You to see emotional.
Yeah, thank you. I generally don't talk about personal issues, but yes, I lost my mother at 3 years of age. And she lost her life trying to protect her husband from a wild animal. They were both on a morning walk in Nepal, and a wild animal attacked them. She was 5 feet 8 inches tall. The wild animal was actually killing my dad, mauling him. He still carries those marks of teeth on his ankles, on his legs and body. She took off a shawl. She put it around the neck of that animal. She squeezed it so tight that the animal left the father and attacked her. But she made sure the husband is safe and the animal died. And that is where she had infection of her wounds. In those days, the Nepal, connectivity was not very good. So medicine used to come from Gorakhpur. So these injections were carried from Gorakhpur in a thermos. And somehow the temperature was not maintained or whatever reasons. So that reaction happened and she died due to the reaction. And in the army we say she died with her boots on. She died fighting. And I'm so proud of her legacy that, she died protecting her husband or saving her husband. And that is when I was 3 years old and my grandmother brought me to Punjab. And I studied with my grandmother. And she taught me everything what life is all about. School में कहीं झगड़ा हो जाता है बच्चों का, पिट के वापस आए तो she would send me back, no, go. पिट के वापस नहीं आना है. So that is the type of ethos. And I dedicated this book to 4 beautiful women in my life over 4 generations. Yeah. My grandmother, BG. My mother, from whom I think I inherit all the strength. My wife, who stood by me for more than 37 years and like a rock solid person. Now it's more than 39 years. That time it was 37 years. And our daughter, who till today will be very clear she wants me to be a better person. शी वुड टेल मी, पापा ये आपको सूट नहीं करता, आप ये पहनिए, पापा ये आपकी ये जो प्रोनाउंसिएशन है ये ठीक नहीं है, इसको ऐसे बोलना होता है. शी इज नॉट टेकिंग मी ऑफ दैट कम्युनिकेशन थिंग. शी इज वांटिंग मी टू इम्प्रूव. Even at this age, she wants me to improve. She wants her father to speak better English, better language. She wants her father to dress up better. So, these 4 generations of women in my life, and of course our son, are the pillars of strength for me. And I'm very sure, every society has this, where mother in the family is the main pivot, Sutradhar jisko bolte hain na. The mother is a Sutradhar, and the daughter is the custodian of the values.
Absolutely.
So that's how 4 generations,
So this
4
is
beautiful women.
So this is dedicated to BG.
Yes.
And I hope your son, like always he say, when he watches this podcast, he says mast hai.
Must hai. He's very clear. He's very cryptic. Whatever you do, whatever you say, and you ask him, so haan beta, how is it? Papa, mast hai. So that recognition must hai is the ultimate.
Sir, thank you so much for doing this. This
Thank you
is
so much.
absolute honor, and I really hope this inspires. मैं बड़ी बार पावुक हो गया तोड़ नाल गल करते करते, but I really hope this inspires a lot of people, and thank you for opening up. And we all love you very much, sir. Thank you for your service.
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks a lot. And Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.